beautiful people, welcome to the School of Sensuality, and today I'm joined by one of my beautiful friends as well, Viv. And on the School of Sensuality here we're all about body love, everything from internal to external love with your body. And today we are going to join something really, really juicy together. Viv, I would love you to introduce yourself, and thank you so much for being here. I know this topic is going to be so yummy and juicy, and also probably quite mind-opening and mind-blowing for a lot of the listeners out there. So I'd love you to kind of drop in a few little seeds of where we're going to go.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll introduce myself a little bit. My name is Viv. I'm a mindful intimacy coach in the bedroom and a mindfulness coach in the workplace. And I work with a lot of couples. I work with a lot of solo women and solo men to help normalize the conversation of intimacy, desire, and pleasure, and help them get to states of orgasmic bliss that they never thought was possible, essentially. Yeah.
And when couples come to you, is it generally the woman or is it generally the man that is wanting to maybe explore themselves, or like the intimacy that they have together?
Good question. It's actually a mix of both. A lot of times, let's start with women reaching out to me. It's about connecting to their partners deeper. They realize that they have a decent relationship, but they don't know what they don't know. So they want to elevate their intimacy even more. Okay. There's also women who come to me for their husband's birthdays. Yeah, so to give them an experience where the husband doesn't need to be in their doing energy.
Oh, I love this.
Which is really, really nice to integrate afterwards, because when I ask them, what was your favorite part of the session? A lot of times the giver of these sessions, and I'll explain giver and receiver, but the giver of the session will say that their favorite part is seeing their partner fully relaxed, which is so rare, typically. And solo women, I see solo women as well who want to get in touch with their bodies. A lot of times they have trouble with feeling internal orgasms. Yeah, so cervical orgasm. So cervix is the innermost part of the vaginal canal, which is the entrance to the uterus or womb. And a lot of women think that there might be something wrong with them, or they find that, okay, clitoral orgasm is good enough. It's short and quick, it's what they know, and it works, and they can use a vibrator and it satisfies their husbands, and that's fine. So that's the type of people or women who come to me. In terms of men, more men have been reaching out for their female partners, especially wanting their female partners to release stress and to tap more into their bodies, which the School of Sensuality is all about. So a lot of times the men want their wives to slow down, to surrender. However, I find that only works when the female is completely 100% a full fuck yes. Can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, we can all the words.
When the female partner is a full fuck yes.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when the husband reaches out to me, I wouldn't say a lot of times, sometimes they're like, oh, I don't know if my wife is ready yet. And it's usually because of stress from day-to-day life, what's happening in their home country, taking care of the kids constantly, being in this go mode instead of the flow mode.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot there.
There's a lot. A couple of things that I'd love to pick up on that. When you, we'll hold on to that one first. With you, the stress level. So let's say, you've got a couple, the mum, they've got kids at home, she's working really hard, or they're both working, they're coming home, they're putting the kids to bed, they're making the dinner, and it's kind of like the routine of life, and the intimacy is taking a back seat. What would you suggest for a woman or for a couple watching this into how she can help herself really connect more with her body during this process, and that's also going to help them in the bedroom as well?
For new moms, it's really difficult because you have a human attached to your hip and you're breastfeeding. So a lot of times you're also disconnected to the breasts. Okay. And sometimes they tell me, well, they feel like a cow. They're a machine. They are just operating on this autopilot because they need to feed this child. So in the beginning stages, of having a toddler, it is very, very difficult. I would say after breastfeeding is to take about 5 minutes after the shower. We're gonna moisturize anyways. Hopefully we moisturize after the shower. Take some coconut oil, some lotion, whatever it is. Play one song, make it a ritual, light a candle, and just use that one song time, 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes, to just moisturize your body in a very slow, intentional, and sensual way. Because most of the time, we get out of the shower, we're like, okay, done.
And rushed on to the next thing, doing the next thing, we just forget.
Yeah. After you put the kids to bed, you have 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes out of the shower. That's it. If you don't have 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Beautiful.
That's to get started. And then when you feel more comfortable with connecting to your breasts, is to give yourself a breast massage. Or ask your partner, if you have a partner, to give you a breast massage for 10, 15, 20 minutes. I say minimum 20 minutes with no end goal. And when I tell husbands this as their homework, they never say no. The husbands will never say no.
Yeah.
And the wives, the female partners, are usually like, what? I've never had just a breast massage before. Because most of the time, females' breasts and body are touched the way that their partner wants to touch them, not the way that we want to receive touch. So it's a very different intention when you're doing just a breast massage with no end goal.
And it's generally like when we have a breast massage, it's generally during penetration, during sex, for the turn on factor over actually, okay, this is just in the moment, like you said, without that end goal. I'm really enjoying it. And I actually have another video on my main channel, so I'll link that above, on breast massage tips. And I loved making this video because I was also allowing myself to explore with my partner at the time, and we were having so much fun. And it's honestly so underrated, the release that you can feel from like giving yourself your breast massage or receiving it, and really coming into your body of like, I'm just here to feel pleasure. I'm just here to feel what it feels like to be, not need to open your legs and to just show up, and really just be in this moment just for yourself. Like I remember you can also like toys, like little like nipple clamps, or like different kinds of sensation play, or like using ice cubes, or like going from drinking a hot tea and giving like, using your tongue in your mouth and then using an ice cube. So if that is something you want to explore more, I'll link the other video above. That's a really fun way to receive, to play, to communicate, to be listening to your partner, asking your partner all those questions. I think it's such a, like I said, an underrated moment that we could potentially use as well. And I'd love to tune into that as well, like for a woman who may be single, might not have a partner, but has never touched her body, never massaged herself before.
So many women.
And so would you say the same? Like I teach a lot of this in this School of Sensuality, but I love having other inputs in there as well. For a woman who is maybe not so comfortable or confident with her own body, what little tips would you give to start, building that connection with the breast, with the body?
So we talked about the giver and receiver dynamic, right? A lot of times as women, we are givers. We like to please the other. We don't think about being the full receiver, meaning you're surrendering. You are not trying to do or move in a certain way to get to an end goal. Because even sometimes when we're with a partner and we're lovemaking, let's say, and we're in an intimate connection, we offer to pleasure them. We offer to please them. And we put our pleasure and our desire in the back, or lower priority. So it's turning the mind a little bit and coming to full receiver mode, meaning doing less and feeling more. And I have an example of this. I actually had a couple yesterday, and it was a heterosexual couple. The female was insanely gorgeous. You look at her, just like a model, like essentially a model, like an actress. And I talked about, describe the full session. We're doing body work, and it's going to include breast massage. And she's like, can we lower the lighting for the breast massage? And the couple have been together for a number of months, not too long, but a number of months, and the male has only seen her breasts bare 3 times.
Wow.
And they've never showered together. Okay. And we were talking initially about, okay, we're doing the body work, but there are different layers there. So we talked about how she wanted to feel safe and open her heart and be more heart-centered and connect with her partner more. And then I'm like, okay. And then when this topic of not wanting to show her breasts and her scars from her breasts.
Wow.
Scars from her breasts, I said, well, your breasts are connected to your heart space, and in Tantra, the source of all female orgasms is actually in the heart space, it's in the breasts. So if you want to have a heart-centered, deep connection and feel fully safe with your lover and your partner, you need to feel comfortable having this part exposed and open. Okay.
Wow, so powerful.
I know. So that was so unexpected, right? Because I'm looking at her, I'm like, you would like, what insecurities? There's no way. And so we did the whole body work, and we went to the breasts, and she had a blindfold on, and she said in that moment she forgot about the concerns of the insecurities, the scars, the judgment, all of that, because her intention was to be with her body and let go. And there's always time for them to integrate, or I give the couple some time alone. Okay, and then when they came out of the room and we talked about the experience, they said that that was the first time that they showered together. And she felt completely fine. It was something that unlocked.
So beautiful.
Yes.
So beautiful. And I think this is such a big, I know for both of us, you know, being in the sensuality space, we were very comfortable in our own skin and our own bodies, but it's so big for women hiding behind their clothes, or hiding behind, you know, the closed curtains, or really dimming the lights off, because our hearts and our body is just closed from past exes naming and shaming us, from us seeing people on social media, or, you know, adult websites thinking that we should be looking like this, and
or celebrities that are on Ozempic and look perfect at age 55. What is that?
And the reality is, like, our body is completely perfect just the way it is. Like, I had a very, very similar experience, a personal experience with my body. So I'd never, before I was in this stage of life, I've never built a relationship with my body, or like I didn't look at my body, my yoni, my breasts, or any part of me. And when I was in the adult industry, I did not want my yoni to be filmed or to be looked at on camera or anything. And that's because in my younger years, one of my exes said to me, "Oh, your labia is the biggest that I've ever seen." And so for anyone listening who doesn't know, the labia are our flaps on our vagina, and our yoni is our pussy. For those just learning the terminology around our body parts. And when I heard that, I was like, you know, and like my heart just closed, my body closed, and I was like, oh my god, this part of me is so shameful, like I'm so embarrassed. And then as I went on through my life, I just only wanted to have sex with the lights off, and I was so probably hurt, but didn't really know how to process these emotions and feelings because of what had happened. And then coming into this space, I was very grateful to have my partner at the time who was so supportive of me. And he was like, do you know, like, having a bigger labia means you have more nerve endings, so you get more pleasure in yourself. And I'm like, I love this, but it's still such a journey to be able to be confident in that space. And obviously now, look, there's no hiding. I have been in the adult industry, and my body has been all over the internet. And for me, from where I was in, like, wanting sex with the lights off, hiding into my clothes, or sex with the lights off, hiding into being in my most vulnerable, authentic, this is me stage of life was such a huge opening into, oh my god, this is me. You know, and I'm not encouraging everyone to jump into the adult industry and put yourselves on the internet, definitely far from it, but that the whole experience that I'd had within that space, really, like, there was nowhere for me to hide. I was being filmed in my most vulnerable self, like showing up in those spaces. And it just was that. it taught me so much about being so comfortable and confident in my own body, and this is why I love my School of Sensuality and everything I do for the other women, because there are so many ladies like your client, like my younger self, like you watching out there, have so many like the shame or the insecurities or the awkwardness, the embarrassment about our bodies, and we are hiding from our own pleasure. We are hiding from really showing up who we are in this world, really being seen from those moments of what he said or what she said or what I look like, and really coming into a space of like, this. And what's coming to me now is one of the things like on my journey as well within this, like we've gone on to body confidence, is I started in like the tantra space. Obviously I started individually, and then I've been in these like circles with 10 women completely nude, all just self-pleasuring ourselves, and it was so empowering, it was so powerful. But at the start I was so grateful to have other women around me who were so confident in their body, who were so open, and over time that allowed me to open up gradually. Now I didn't go straight in the deep end and take all my clothes off to start with, because I was still really nervous.
Yeah.
But over time it ended up into being, you know, us all being nude, being in all, really being in our bodies. And I feel like in relationships we do think that we have to like live this chapter alone. We have to hide ourselves. But this is why I have my podcast and my school out there and the work we do, really supporting women on the pathway of being open, or like, the curiosity of like, so I can actually like come out the shower in the gym and just drop my towel and feel as confident as ever, and I don't like have to try and get my clothes on with my towel around me, and you know, hiding our bodies in the space of maybe I'm not good enough or I don't look good enough.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing within the body image is no matter how you look, how you feel will always rise above how you look within your body. Like feeling the emotions of just happiness and joy, and like, this is me, and this is all of me, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I love that you brought up the fact that you did women's circles where self-pleasure in a group, nudity or not nudity, was happening, and being empowered to be in that space. So a friend is staying with me right now. She is living in Hong Kong, where I'm from, but she's Caucasian, and she's been to one of these women's circles, and when she got up, because you know, you're lying down sometimes or you're closing your eyes, so you don't really know what other people are doing, so you're kind of, you know, you're just focused on yourself. And then when she got up, she said everyone in the circle, every woman in the circle were topless and had their breasts out after the breast massage, except for her. And she realized how much work she needed to do in that moment, because she felt very uncomfortable with her body, and it was her own stuff, right? It wasn't a safe space. It was just she wasn't comfortable. So sometimes you kind of need to kickstart yourself by immersing yourself in an environment like that in order to realize, like, oh, there's actually so much more room to grow, and release shame and guilt and judgment and self-criticism, you know, all the stuff, fear, everything that we have.
And what's coming to me now as you're talking about this process, you know, being in a women's circle, as we touched on the exercise before of, you know, your body lotion over the arms. Another thing, like, you know, maybe there's listeners watching or watching out there that's not really ready to go and jump into a women's circle just right now, and I completely understand. However, you know, if you wanted to learn and love your body so much more, that was just something I'd definitely recommend. But even just starting with simple, like standing in front of the mirror, completely nude.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Standing in front of the mirror. Look, you could potentially, you know, keep your underwear on to start with if you've never really like looked in the mirror, and then gradually start feeling, okay, maybe this is edgy for me, but maybe I can do this, and really just like seducing yourself, taking the underwear off, and really noticing your body. Like our body is like, basically, I call our body our car, our temple. Our body is what carries us through life. And if we can have a healthy relationship with our body, our life becomes so much healthier. The lifestyle choices, or how we show up and how we put ourselves in life, is so much more effortless and so much more easier because we feel just comfortable and confident. And like, you know, our car is working, we're driving on, rather than like, you know, fitting too many things in or hiding ourselves. Really, we've all gone through life being conditioned to, you know, wear the nicest clothes or
external.
That's it. External. What's the word I'm looking for? External, like showing up in the external way. When really, can we take those layers back? Obviously, you know, you don't have to walk down the street completely nude in your birthday suit, but we can just stand in front of the mirror. So there are 2 yummy exercises that we've covered so far: is the body lotion and standing in front of the mirror, really just looking at your own body and voicing everything that you love about your body.
Yes, the positive affirmation, because our brains will automatically judge ourselves and criticize, oh, this part is too big or too small, or the negative voice in our heads will always try to take over. So when you're looking at the mirror, is noticing and being aware, like, would I talk to my own daughter like that? Would I talk to my best friend's kids like that? No. So catch yourself and then say positive affirmations. And then the next step, the next practice, because we're on the mirror topic, is Yoni gazing.
Oh, beautiful.
Right, Yoni gazing. So Yoni, as you mentioned, it is the female genitalia, but also it means a divine symbol of female sexual pleasure and power, and the source of where all human life begins, which is amazing. So knowing that you have this power in your yoni to create life, the origin, the sacred space, the source, everything comes from the yoni. Honor her. But a lot of us are like, ooh, I don't want to look at her.
Like,
I'm I'm hiding her. Like,
she's not pretty.
And we don't know her. We don't know her well. Right? You're supposed to see her every day, supposed to, but you don't really see her. So another practice, yoni gazing, which if you watch Sex and the City, Charlotte took a mirror, a compact mirror, and looked at herself, and then she was like, ooh, because Samantha was like, you haven't ever looked at your vulva or your vagina? And so with that, it's really about getting to know the parts of you and appreciating all parts of you.
Beautiful. I love that, like, on Sex and the City. I might have seen it, but I can't remember. So if you're like wondering what we're talking about, I'll put the links watch that episode of Sex and the City. And maybe just like pause this video right now or pause this podcast and get your mirror out or go and sit in front of the mirror and have a look. Like, I remember there was one time I was sitting in front of the mirror because, you know, when with my journey of building the relationship with my own yoni as well as was a process. And I was sitting in front of the mirror one time, and then my husband came home, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, look how pretty she is today, you know. I'm just like, wow. And I just like, it was a timely process. It was a process for me to actually be comfortable looking at my own yoni. It was a process for me to like touch her. It was a process for me to feel comfortable to sit there so effortlessly and like, wow, this is part of me. You know, I was created, we were all created, you, me, your brother, your sister, you, from our vagina, from our yoni space. And that is so powerful. And the more I actually go along in my journey now, my desire is to become a mum. And the more I'm going on, I'm really, really building so much more of a relationship with my stomach, with my womb space, with my yoni, because this is exactly where I'm going to create a child, a human from. And when like really in my mind, I'm like, wow, like that's so incredibly powerful of like this part of my body, a lot of my other body will create life force, will create a human. And I'm like, I've always loved my body from the past journey that I've been on, but right now, every day, I have so much love for my body, because the more love that I can feel in my body, the more love my daughter or my son is going to feel as well, because I'm really passing on this love through over the awkwardness or the uncomfortability that I have with my own self. That's not an energy that I want my body or my birthing children to come on through me of like, okay, this is awkward, but it's part of life. It's part of life.
And I usually ask my clients, my female clients who are very comfortable with their bodies, I ask them, how did you grow up? And so this relates to what you were just saying. One of my clients, she said, because for her, sexuality comes very easy. Her and her husband connect very well. Even after birth, she was very comfortable with getting intimate again, physical intimacy, which a lot of women are not, because they're like, well, my body's changing and all that. When she grew up, she said her mom would walk around nude and it would be very normal. Normalize nudity as not always have to be sexual.
Beautiful. Yes.
Right? And so that allowed her to appreciate her body. And also what really helped her was her father, when she started dating or having her first boyfriend, her father sat her down and told her, remember, you have to prioritize your pleasure first. Like, had the sex talk with her. It's very rare that the father usually has a sex talk with the daughter, right? It's usually the mom for the daughter. So when you are practicing, especially if you're a mom, these practices of moisturizing your body, yoni gazing, breast massage, you're setting an excellent example for your kids. If you're hiding with shame, with guilt, with fear, you are passing that down to the next generation.
Yeah. And I think that's definitely, like I said, the stage that I'm in. Like, I don't want to be passing this on. Like, I want, being in the sexuality space, I want my children to be so confident in their bodies, to be able to show up to help their friends, you know, be like, hey, look, we can just love our bodies for what we are. It doesn't mean that we're going to be penetrated. It doesn't mean that this is the moment that it's going to turn sexual, and we can just be in love with our own body, which is, even just talking about this is just like really, it feels yummy, you know, when we can.
Yeah, and this helps with men as well, because when men see you appreciate your body and worship your body, they will worship the ground you walk on. I had another client a couple of days ago. It was heterosexual as well, and the guy was, with the way he spoke, right when he sat down, the way he spoke, he was very, very in touch with his inner world. And then I asked him, like, how come you're so good with speaking about your innermost desires and your needs? And he was quite young as well. And he said that his mom worked at home while he was growing up the whole time. And her ritual is, she's on the laptop. Okay, after the workday, she shuts the laptop, turns on the radio with music, and then she dances.
Oh, beautiful.
Almost every day. She does this. So the way that their family were raising their children was to worship the female, worship the female body. So with the son, the client from 2 days ago, he was like, I look at females as the goddess, as like, oh, bow down, which I'm like, what? You know? And to his, I said multiple times, like, your parents raised you so well. Yeah.
And that's it's so magical, like, for even to hear that from a male, you know, because my experience, like, growing up was, if you're when you're engaging with men through penetration, because I had a lot of unconsensual sexual experiences, and so my relationship with men and sex was different. Well, a lot of women have, but it was a different experience too. We've all had different experiences, so I think that's really good. It's like the next bit of homework there. So we've done lotion covering,
mirror work, yoni gazing.
The next part there is like, I would look into what you learned about your body and sex and sexuality growing up. Were your parents really open? And how are you in this space now? Were your parents really closed? Did you ever talk about sex with your parents? And how is that affecting you now in today's life with your own body and your relationships as well? Like, you know, using your past client with her boobs, maybe she's never had the space to like show and be confident, and that's what we talk about with that discomfort. Can you really step into that discomfort? And I feel like something I really want to share on this subject is, when you're feeling the discomfort, generally it can feel like an icky, tight, contracted tension feeling in our body. When we're feeling this, we just want to just breathe. Really just closing the eyes if you can, if you're in that moment before, and just breathing, like taking a long deep breath in through the nose and out, and relaxing your body. You know, we want to be in kind of relaxed flow state, calmness, and we're like, okay, is this really as bad as I'm feeling and then I'm making out? Or is this just my mind and my body, oh my God, that's so bad, hiding? And can we just really breathe and come into a space of, I remember Katie and Viv talking on the podcast, and they were like, look, I don't need to feel contracted and hard in my body, and I can just relax. And the more that you can relax into your body, you're going to feel so much more comfortable when you are looking at yourself in the mirror, when you are really connecting with your body. And then as you're going through life as well, you won't be stress-free, we'll have no anxiety, we won't be depressed in the states of like, oh, my body's like this, because your body's so much calmer. We're in a space of just really loving ourselves in the present moment, in the flow state. You know, kind of what I really like what you said before was like go mode or flow mode, you know, coming really as much as you can into the flow of things. Which
exactly.
is so beautiful. Yeah. I love what we have shared. So many body love exercises there, and maybe, you know, maybe you're watching this and feeling like, okay, I would like to explore more. I will put all Viv's links below, and you can dabble into that. And also have the School of Sensuality, where we have guided practices and exercises that you do in a self-paced module to be able to really connect with your body. So one day you might be feeling like dancing, the other day you might be feeling like doing some breath work, the other day you might feel like doing some Yoni gazing, and really having, it's really important to set that time, like your clients have, like you say, you're coming out of the shower, sending yourself that time to love your body, to appreciate your body, and watch how much ease will come through your life as we flow on. Very, very, very magical. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
really
having
exciting.
me.
It was really like, I love talking about pleasure and sexuality and feeling the body, and it doesn't always need to be a feeling that comes through penetration. Just having this conversation is just like so yummy. So
yes.
Also, you can get your girlfriends, get together and talk about intimacy and all what we've discussed. Maybe send them this podcast so you can both watch it together, and then you know, explore these things and really get curious, like we do with our girlfriends. We just have so much fun loving our bodies,
Just like talking about the weather.
Yeah,
right?
Literally.
Like seriously, what we do.
Instead of when you notice yourself talking about the weather, be like, oh, should we talk about loving our bodies instead?
Yeah, pretty much.
Perfect. This isn't really, isn't it? Go and talk about your body, guys, not the weather. We'll see you next time.
Bye.